social media marketing,
Right.
trying to boil it down to the stuff that'll actually move the needle for you without making you, pull your hair out.
Yeah, if you're spending more time stressing about your next post than, writing your next song,
Right.
we want to give you some ways to make that process way easier and more effective so you can focus on the music.
Yeah, because things have changed, right? Like, it's not enough to just have awesome music anymore.
Yeah.
You really need to have a solid presence online to connect with your fans and all that. So, where do we even begin?
Well, the first thing is to kind of shift your thinking a bit. Just kind of randomly posting stuff.
Yeah.
This is going to cut it. The book really stresses this idea of strategic content.
Hmm.
You got to think of your social media as more of a performance.
Hmm.
Every post should have a purpose, whether it's to draw in a certain type of fan or get people hyped about a new release or just build a stronger connection with your existing listeners.
Okay, strategic content, I
Yeah.
get that. But what does that actually look like in practice? They talk about this whole personal social media strategist thing with IRM's manager feature. What is that exactly?
It's actually really cool. Think personalized guidance. It's not just some algorithm telling you when to post stuff.
Okay.
Imagine actually talking with someone about what types of content make sense for your style and your goals as an artist.
Right.
And they help you understand why certain things work better than others with your specific audience. You go from like throwing darts in the dark to having a real plan.
Oh, that sounds way better than just hoping something sticks.
Yeah.
And speaking of effective strategies, the book mentions some pretty impressive growth that artists have seen using these tools.
Absolutely. It says artists who really use IRM's tools well can see their followers double in their first year.
Wow. That's huge.
It is. But the key is how they get there.
Right. It all comes down to that strategic, guided content planning and execution. Having the tools is one thing, but you need a smart roadmap to really see those results.
Double the followers in a year. That's incredible.
Uh-huh.
But managing all those different social media accounts can feel like a full-time job on its own.
Ah.
How do these tools help with all that? I mean, that's what eats up so much time for artists.
Oh, yeah, and the book gets into that. Think about all the time artists spend, that they could be writing, recording, actually playing music.
Yeah.
These integrated posting tools are a lifesaver. You can schedule posts across all your platforms at once, plan things out way ahead of time, see how people are reacting in real time, figure out what's working and what's not. Plus, you can make sure your online image is consistent across the board, all from one place.
Wow, that would take a huge weight off.
Yeah.
And it says in here that artists typically spend 2 to 3 hours every week just on that stuff.
Yeah.
So you're getting all that time back to focus on your music. Exactly. And then you can use that time to create even better content. The book also talks about the importance of storytelling. Even those short little social media posts need to have a narrative to really grab people's attention and keep them coming back. Even a 15-second video can tell a little story that connects with people.
Yeah, that's a great point. How can musicians actually create those little stories in these short formats like TikTok and Instagram Reels? It seems hard to do that in such a small amount of time.
Well, the book talks about this idea of series-based content.
Okay.
Perfect for that. You tell a story over several shorter posts, and it keeps people hooked, waiting to see what happens next. And there are some really cool examples for musicians specifically, like the original song series.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
You can take your fans on a journey,
Yeah.
start with the initial idea for a new song, show them bits of you writing it, maybe some quick peeks into the studio, then a little teaser right before the release. Each post builds on the last one.
That's brilliant. It gets people excited and makes them feel like they're part of the whole process. What other series ideas stood out to you?
There's On the Road with Me, which is a great way to show your fans what touring life is really like. Pre-show routines, getting to the venues, sound checks, even a quick chat with fans after the show.
Right.
And then there's My Journey series. This one's all about sharing more of your personal story, how you got started, challenges you've overcome, what keeps you going. It's about making a real connection with your audience by letting them see different sides of your musical life.
I love those. They feel very genuine. And it's not just about the music itself.
Right.
Now, the book also makes a big deal about brand consistency. Is it really more than just having a logo and some colors that match?
It's much more than that. Your branding needs to be consistent in the way you talk and the overall story you're telling online. Think of it as your artistic DNA. The tone you use in your captions. Are you funny? Serious? And then the bigger story you're telling about your music and your journey. It all needs to feel like it's coming from you, across all your platforms.
Makes sense.
And there's actual data to back this up. Artists with consistent branding get more interaction from fans at their shows, and they connect with more new fans every month.
So it really makes a difference.
Because when you're consistent, people start to recognize and trust you.
That makes sense. It feels more professional and trustworthy. And there was this one feature that really caught my eye, the fan capture system. It sounds like a smart way to build a stronger and more direct connection with your fans.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's all about turning those casual listeners into
Yeah.
dedicated fans.
Yeah.
Instead of just relying on those fleeting social media interaction,
Yeah.
you strategically place QR codes at your shows, and people can scan them to sign up and get exclusive content. And you can even get tips directly from fans.
Hmm.
The book says this can be anywhere from $15 to $100 per interaction. You're building a loyal following that you can actually connect with directly. And they say it helps artists keep 35% of those fans. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a real way to build your own audience and have more meaningful interactions, not just depending on those algorithms. It gives the power back to the artist.
Exactly. And to help artists stay consistent without getting overwhelmed, the book actually suggests a weekly posting schedule.
Oh, that's helpful.
So you don't just stare at your phone wondering what to post.
Right. What does that look like?
They say aim for about 4 posts a week. Mondays are good for behind-the-scenes stuff. Wednesdays, you share some of your original music. Fridays, you could post highlights from a performance. And Sundays, you can get a little more personal. Share some reflections on your journey as a musician.
So you've got a nice rhythm going throughout the week. But how do you know if it's actually working? If people are responding to what you're doing? That's where those analytics come in, right?
Definitely. The book really stresses the importance of using data to make smart decisions for your long-term success.
Right.
You need to keep track of your engagement. Likes, comments, shares, how many new fans you're getting, which content is performing the best. And you can even track how much money you're making through your social media channels. All of this helps you understand what your audience really likes and what you might need to tweak in your strategy.
And it's interesting. It says that only about 40% of artists are using analytics tools.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows you how important it is. A lot of artists are missing out on this valuable information.
Yeah, they could really benefit from it.
For sure. Knowing what your audience wants and how they behave online is essential these days. And it's great that these tools are getting better all the time. The book even mentions some cool features that are in the works, like better calendar integration to make planning even easier. And get this, they're working on a social media platform just for venues and artists
Oh, wow.
that could really help them connect and collaborate more directly.
Yeah, that's a game changer.
It just goes to show you how things are constantly evolving. They're really trying to give artists the tools they need to not just survive, but to thrive in this digital age.
So to wrap things up, the big takeaway here is that you need more than just talent to make it in the music industry today. As important as that is, you also need to be smart and intentional about how you use social media.
Yeah, you need to be strategic about your content, consistent with how you share it, and above all, be yourself. Authenticity is key.
So for all of you listening, think about this. What if you took just one of these strategies and really ran with it?
Yeah.
Maybe you start that original song series or figure out how to use QR codes at your next gig.
Right.
It could completely change how you connect with your fans and support your music career. Which series idea speaks to you? What stories are you just burning to tell? That's a great place to start.
Absolutely.